Would you like to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? James, would you like to say a prayer?
Well, thank you very much. James Atterbury, pastor of Amargosa Christian Fellowship. Let's pray together. O Lord our God, we come to you by faith, requesting your blessing and favor upon this meeting of the Town Board of Amargosa Valley. We thank you for everything that we have from you and for the precious time which you've given to us. We thank you for the freedom to be able to assemble here to speak our minds. We pray that you would grant us wisdom to live in a way that honors you. Lord, may you give us the wisdom to do what is right, even when doing so is costly. Give us strength and boldness that we need to make the right decisions, even though they may not be popular. Give us the courage we need to change the things that need to be changed and the resolve to carry it out. Give us the ability to work together in spite of our disagreements. Give us self-control and wisdom whenever we speak. Lord, may you give to this town peace and safety and empower its leaders to create an environment where its people, businesses, and churches can thrive. Lord, may you watch over our fire department. Protect us, O Lord, as we serve those who are in need. May you guard and protect the Nye County Sheriff's officers who serve Amargosa Valley. Protect them, O Lord, as they protect us from those who are evil. And we pray for these things in the name of Jesus, the risen Lord of all. Amen.
Thank you, James. Not seven. No. Okay, everybody. The approval of the agenda. I'm going to be pulling number 4. Mr. Mason Bell could not be with us tonight, and number 6 and 8. Okay, I'm going to open this up for public comment, up to a 3-minute time limit. Action will not be taken on matters considered during this period until specifically included on an action item, on the agenda as an action item. Is it open for public comment? Anybody for public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment and go straight to reports. Town office report. Mike.
Okay. The total for expenditures across all of the accounts, credit cards, petty cash, recurring and regular expenditures looks very high at the $30,614. But we've had, for the Christmas dinner, we had a donation from Nextera, paid for all of that. The money for the cemetery cleanup and the eighth grade trip came out of one of the other ancillary accounts. So the total that comes out of the town's general account that we operate of was actually about $15,000 and change. So I would like to make a motion that we pay the vouchers as presented for a total of $30,614.27.
Second.
Okay, I'm going to call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Fire department report. James?
James Atterbury, captain on the fire department. Jessica Cattermiss, who is the fire department clerk, is sick today, so she wasn't able to deliver the report. And Juan Femat, the chief, is in a meeting right now. All right, so this is the year-end report, so I'm going to be reading what Jessica Cattermiss has typed up. So she typed this on December 11th, so since December 11th, we've had some more runs. So the total run count for this year of 2024, up until December 11th, we've had 10 fire calls. So that could be any type of fire call. It could be a smoke investigation. It could be a vehicle fire, a house fire, or a grass fire. So 10 of those. Then we had 128 medical calls, or EMS calls. And then we had 46 other calls. And those other calls are like landing zones for the life flight helicopter, for the Beatty ambulance, or public assistance. This brings our total at the time of writing this report to 184 runs, and we averaged out to 4 volunteers per call. This is an increase of 29 runs throughout the year. This continues to show that EMS is necessary in the valley. EMS volunteers are so desperately needed. When it comes to equipment, this was a big year for equipment. We had 3 major purchases of equipment this year. These are a new tender to replace our oldest one in the fleet, a new Type 5 quick attack truck that we are expecting by the end of summer next year, and the start of the process to upgrade the turnouts our fire personnel wear. When it comes to training, this year we started to include EMS into our training since it's such a high portion of our calls. The focus of this training was primary assessment and scene assessment. On the fire side of things, we worked on water pump operations, scene safety, wildland fires, and the basics of firefighting. We also have two firefighters currently taking the firefighting class with Beatty Fire, so that's the Fire 1 class. As far as personnel goes, we held strong throughout the year with 12 active volunteers. We continue to work on recruitment and are always open for more volunteers. So does the town board have any questions about the yearly fire department report?
No, but congratulations. Job well done.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Scott Lewis, I saw Scott Lewis at the BOCC meeting, and he wanted to again say that they will train in Pahrump, any training that's needed.
Yeah, either in Pahrump or in Beatty. Right now they're doing the Fire 1 class in Beatty. And then also, there's going to be a memorial service for Dale Black. So I don't know if all of you probably have not heard, but Dale Black passed away yesterday morning. And so there's going to be a memorial service for him. And Dale was an assistant chief for our fire department for about 20 years. So he was a very important member of our community. And the memorial service is going to be on Saturday, December 28th at 1 o'clock at Amargosa Christian Fellowship. So they were thinking about 2 o'clock, but they changed their mind. It's going to be at 1 o'clock on Saturday, December 28th at Amargosa Christian Fellowship. And then afterward at 3 o'clock, they want to do a meal at Long Street. That's the plan right now. So everyone here is welcome to come to that at 1 o'clock on the 28th for Dale. And I think that's all.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
Do we have anybody here from the planning committee? Did you have a meeting? I didn't think so. Okay. Nothing for the planning committee. Mike, do you have anything for economic development?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. Greenlink has started their distribution yard. That's on the one on East Sage, just past the Mills place. Getting ready to bring heavy equipment and stuff in there to do that transmission line. Grid Alliance has a site secured down this side of Mecca a little bit. And then at the next planning committee meeting, a company that does electronics recycling is coming to make a presentation to them. They have the site picked out. They will, so what they do with all of the solar panels in one, they bring them in, take them apart, process all the product, and then it gets shipped out to different companies that purchase everything. So nothing goes into the landfill and very little water, and they'll employ about half a dozen people. So those things are going forward. The MJ site on Anvil Road has supposedly been sold, but we don't know who's got that yet. That has been a nightmare. That property's been in receivership, and so we're waiting to see what the ongoing part of that. But and so one thing that we did through our negotiations, with these companies, especially with the transmission lines, in fact, all of them, is that we requested that all their supplies that they get on site are invoiced into Nye County. And so what that does, that's how we gain on those personal property taxes. If they were invoiced into Southern California or corporate headquarters in Vegas or something like that, we wouldn't get anything. So that is one thing that hopefully we'll see a little bit of revenue coming off that. It gets split all over the county, but we do get something off of it.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Senior Center report. Dave.
Thank you, Dave Hall, with the Senior Center report. I just want to make a couple thank yous. And I think let's see, it was Saturday the 14th. Judy Favor has been working diligently for the last year and a half to make sure that all the veterans within Amargosa and some without have got their quilts of valor. And we've been diligent in making sure that they had a really nice facility to do that ceremony. This was the third one we did, and I think we've pretty much come to a point where every veteran that we know of that's in Amargosa Valley or close to us has got a quilt of valor. And it's really a tribute to Judy for all the hard work that she's done to really go out there and get all the paperwork together and make sure those people get recognized. And for the ladies that do those quilts, it's just amazing, you know, the differences, and there's never one that's the same. They're all really just beautiful, and it's a really tribute to not only them and Judy, but to all the volunteers that have served this country. So that was really a neat ceremony, and really appreciate all the folks that came. We had a really great Christmas dinner last night. It turned out to be a wonderful dinner put on by our staff, and we had a really neat Christmas exchange, or steal that gift, however you want to say it. But it really turned out good. There was a lot of excitement at times, and it had more potluck desserts than I've ever seen at any function. People had to take them home because we had way too many desserts. So that turned out to be a really good event also. So I just want to say, you know, for the year end, thanks to the staff and volunteers, really a lot of work and a lot of stuff well done. Congregate meals attendance has been up all year long, better than it has been for the last couple of years. And right now we've got about 8 home delivered that we consistently deliver meals to. So that's all going really well. I'll move on to talk about something I can't talk about anymore, and that's commodities. We had a meeting with 3 Square Monday, Monica and I, and they were real adamant about we need to change the name from commodities to TFAP, T-E-F-A-P. That's Emergency Food for Assistance Program. So from now on, I'll say TFAP. It's really what we used to call commodities, but because of the politics involved, the USDA does not like it called commodities anymore. So from now on, when I say TFAP, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the food distribution we do here at our senior center at our commodity building. And this month we had, I think we had 95 people, which was 450 individuals. So, you know, 94 families, 450 individuals that we served. And I talked to Leslie today, and they do about 75 people. So on average, this community serves about 1/3 of its population every month for food. Now that's, you know, and Mike has something, he and I talk about this a lot of times when we're trying to explain to people what kind of an environment we live in here in Amargosa. So he does it a lot better than I do. And when we were talking about that, and the numbers really came to rest, that these people are really in need of these services, and it's a large large portion of our population, isn't it, Mike? I mean, you know, for only, you know, between 14 and 17, depending, 100 people, whatever number you want to use on that. So, but between the library and the senior center, we do serve those people. As I mentioned, we did meet with some 3 Square people, and there's some USDA grants out there. So we're actively looking at, you know, they mentioned a lot of things that we might look at, and I think there's some stuff we can go beyond. And we got kind of a short time period. I've already made some calls, and we're going to put some numbers together and see how that rides. So whatever, you know, we come up with these opportunities, and it's the first time 3 Squares actually come out and said, hey, there's a USDA program that they've said we needed to go out and, you know, present to you people. Here's some ideas that how you might be able to do better at helping your community. So, you know, we're gonna investigate a lot of those and keep on working on that. There still seems to be a lot of money out there. I know we have some tough times working with Division of Aging. They're a little bit slower probably than USDA and 3 Square when it comes to, you know, releasing money, but eventually we get it. It's just kind of a hassle sometimes. But on that respect, we're up to date on all our grants. We're all good through the end of the year. Excuse me, going into next year. So I don't have any worries. It's just that they're just kind of a handful to work with. Next month, our commodity distribution will be on Monday the 13th. And we're starting at 10:30 now and going to 11:30 and kind of moving it up into, you know, noon. So we're getting our stuff a little bit earlier in the morning. We're getting out here about 7:30. We got a dedicated truck coming from 3 Square, plus the coalition's coming out with their commodities about 8:30. So we're able to move up the time frame a little bit on that. So things are running a lot smoother because of that. The ASI board meeting this month in January, next month, will be on Tuesday the 11th, or 14th, I'm sorry, Tuesday the 14th at 10:30. And everybody's welcome to come after breakfast. If you happen to be there and want to stick around for the meeting, that'd be great. And I'd just like to thank the board for your continued support throughout the year. Couldn't have done it without you and a lot of other people that have really done a lot. Valley Electric, you know, Bill Wall, a lot of big donors out there that have really come through and made sure that the people in Amargosa are well served by, you know, companies and individuals that have been here or are here now. Well, one thing I want to say is that block building that used to be there is gone now. It's in a pile of rubble. And Lab, if you're listening, you can get whatever cement block you can off of that, but it'll be all picked up and taken to the dump. So no more graffiti we'll have to look at coming around the corner, and we fully anticipate that we'll be cleaning up some more of the kind of areas that we've had construction debris and so on, that we're getting help from our folks at the county yard to do that, and much appreciated. So any questions, board members?
I don't, thank you, but
Thank you.
anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for everything. Okay, I'm going to push number 7 back to the end of the meeting because it's a closed session and it's just for some housekeeping. Number 9, for possible action, discussion, and deliberation, approve, amend, or approve or deny request for Amargosa Valley Library for $10,000 in funding to help with their expansion project. Can I get a motion,
I'll take
please?
it. Okay, so I make a motion that we donate the $10,000 towards the library expansion project as requested.
I'll second.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't put these things on the agenda unless we have the money to do it. And and the library is becoming more involved in our community all the time, like Dave said. They've got that bookmobile, which will be out in the community. They are involved in feeding people, and that facility is used more all the time. It will be very important. We do have our emergency generator is on site. It's across the street. We'll be going in within probably 60 days. It will power up this whole facility when the grid goes down, and the library will be part of that. So they are a very big part of the community, and this is a 3-to-1 grant. So I think it's 3-to-1. For every dollar we put up, I think the government's matching 3 of that. And so it'll be a big part of our community. And I will go into an explanation during board members' comments on where this money is coming from and how important it is to the community. So.
Thank you. I'm going to open this up for public comment. Okay, it's up to a 3-minute time limit. Action will not be taken or matters considered during this period until specifically included on an action item, as an action item on the agenda.
Mike, if you will, this $10,000 is really.
Excuse me, can you state your name?
Oh, Dave Hall, H-A-L-L. Sorry. Is there some way we can come up with a lot more money than that? Because I think if we look at what we've done with the money this year, we've given it to the schools, the 2 schools, a lot more than $10,000. And this library is, it's just like a senior center. It's a library, so people go there for books. It's a senior center, so seniors go there. Unfortunately, we're stuck with these names that really don't correlate to really what they do and how they do it and why they do it. This library, like you said, is a bookmobile. They've got a little cubicle in there where you can go in and do a Zoom meeting in private. They've got food distribution. The list goes on and on and on, where it's really not a library, but it's a learning center. And if people go there, Will today, I think Will's here, he went there, I got to get a copy of something. And it's all those things, we got a notary service. It's just a lot. And I think, you know the books better than anybody. And if there's any way we can come up with some extra money for that, I think we should really try to do whatever we can. Thank you.
Okay, is anybody else for public comment before I went up to the board? Okay.
I had a question of, is this money to go for matching your grant that they got? Yes. Okay, all right. Because then it shows community support when we do that, because they applied for a CBDG grant. And they need to show also that we support this.
Mike, can we come up with another 10,000? I know we can amend this to that. Or should we wait?
Well, I'll take this one for just a second before he answers. 10,000 is all we could do tonight because it's listed in the agenda. And so if not everybody's here, but plenty are here, when we appreciate it. And as it gets closer, I think we'll have a better understanding of what they may need. So that's my 2 cents. Mike?
Yeah, I agree. The 10 grand is what's on here. That's what I verified we've got. And right now we're halfway through our fiscal year. So there's, this thing's not going to happen tomorrow. And so if things are looking strong and we've got, the poop doesn't hit the fan any worse than it normally does, we'll see what's available. So they can always come back. But I think we should pass it as it's presented.
And the people we're working with, we can point their donations in that direction as well. So we've got a lot of things going for us. Okay, I'm going to call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, number 10, for possible action, discussion, and deliberation to approve, amend, and approve or deny updated recurring bill list for Nye County Finance to approve and fund vouchers up to limits stated on the document. This is something that we do every year, and we've added some to make life a little bit easier for the county.
I make
Okay.
a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
You make a motion to approve the recurring list? Okay. And a second?
Yeah, I second.
Okay. Is there any public comment? Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, what this does, our old system was that, so we get the bills in through the month, we approve them usually at the end of the month, and then by the time we get them in the system, we're 30 days behind. So by doing it this way, we are able to keep the recurring bills that are listed on here. They get processed almost the same day they come in. And so we're not seeing all the late fees and one thing or another that we were getting for a long time. So it just, everything still shows up in our reports, everything is still there. And it just lets our system work a lot better.
Okay, I'm going to call for the vote.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay. General public comment, up to a 3-minute time limit. Action will not be taken on matters considered during this period until specifically included on an agenda as an action item. Anybody for public comment? Come on.
Dave's busy.
Please state and spell your last name.
Dave Hall, Hall. I just, Mason wasn't able to be here today, but I just want to tell everybody, and I hope everybody that's listening, that there's a document that Carolyn put out about a month ago, and I hope you all read it, because this is the heart of Amargosa, and she put all that into words and stuff that really made sense, and sent it to everybody she knows in Washington, where she visited. She's done a lot to try to foster this whole keep this lithium thing out of here program. And we really need to support that. And Mason is the same. He looks at it from a different perspective, sort of, but Carolyn really looks at it from the hearts of the people in this valley. And if you never had an opportunity to read through this, it's really good. And you know, I'll take a couple of copies with me to the senior center if anybody needs a copy of it. But you know, it is well written and really made a lot of sense, I think, to everybody. I get 3 minutes on every topic. And the other thing I have to say is we're right at the end of the year, and as Mike mentioned, we got a generator across the street. We got some bathrooms coming in. Next year, for new board members, we're going to have a lot of work to do. A lot of people have to get involved because it's not, they're going to come in and do it and walk away and nobody gets involved. You know, people are going to have to be involved, kind of guide them on what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they're doing it. And I just want to make sure that, you know, everybody knows if you come up here and you take a seat, and there's a lot of work to do with all these companies that are wanting to come in here, with the dairy possibly going another direction. There's just so much. You talk about the water, you talk about the taxes, you talk about the infrastructure, all the impact, you know, the 700 miners that may or may not come to, you know, up into Beatty for a shiny gold. It's all up in the air, but it's coming. If they got a lay down yard already, there's going to be a power line. If there's going to be a power line, there's going to be a solar company. And a shiny gold's not going to give up, not at, what is it?
Not at all.
$2,000 an hour, whatever it is now, it's some crazy amount, but you know, those people are going to come here too. More people probably than we ever saw from the dairy because they're going to be now living in housing provided by the employer. Well, they may be. You know, if Shawnee Gold says, we got to build houses in Amargosa, they might try to do that to supply housing for their employees. So a lot of stuff coming our way, a lot of stuff needs to be paid attention to and looked at and make sure that, you know, it's brought to the board's attention and that we try to do all this stuff in a way that, you know, benefits this valley. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Is that the next top? Do you have a third topic?
No, that's it. Thank you for a year's hard work. You've all done just a great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, I'm going to close public comment. And I'm going to go to board member comments. This item is limited to announcements and topics proposed for future workshops and agendas. Who wants to go first? Mike?
Okay, I want to, excuse me, take a minute to address our finances and where the money goes and what has happened over the last number of years. So when we went on our own in about 2011, 2012, we started with $225,000. And we grew that over the years till 2019, late 2018. We had pushed right up to about 950,000 just by keeping expenses. We have never exceeded revenue. Expenditures have always been less than revenue. We had a hiccup for a couple years and have started to get things back online. But something that the town board did back in 2015 is we stepped up and obligated $3,000 a month to keep the clinic open. And we are the only facility in Nye County that kept their clinics open when the county pulled their funding. Neither Beatty nor Tonopah kept theirs, yet this board did. And so between the clinic, the senior center, the money to the schools, and the library, this board has donated $91,000 that has gone right back into our community. We've kept the clinic open, we've helped the senior center, and we put money into the schools so these kids can go out and see different places, and money into the library. So I think the board has, that's about 20%, 25% of our total revenue. So I think we have done more than anybody else in the county has. So that's where, your money's going right back into the community.
It's 101,000 with the 10,000 tonight. You got to add this. All right, thank you, Mike. Pat?
The only thing I have is that I just found the new brochure for Amargosa Valley, and I want to say that Brenda did a fantastic job on it. And also, and I already told you, excellent letter, Carolyn. That's all I have.
And I would like to do a capital workshop next year sometime. A capital workshop.
Oh,
Is that it? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. The letter that they're talking about, I think I'm going to ask that we put it in the newsletter because it does speak for all of us here. The one that went to DC. The solar ordinance Tuesday night passed 5-0, and let me just say that all the work that we've been doing for the last 2 years, it gives us the teeth to continue to protect the town with the certain setbacks and things that we have worked so hard for. So it's not fantastic news for everybody, but we're no more moratorium, say that fast, and we're much more protected now. I want to thank Pat for stepping in and filling the vacant position. Really do appreciate it, Pat, and you're consistent going to the BOCC. You're kind of our eyes and ears when we can't be there. Joe Engel is going to have open heart surgery on January 14th. So keep him, please, in your thoughts and prayers. And I think that's it. It's been a crazy year, and we did a lot of work. And I think we're going to have some good news here coming pretty quickly that I'm excited about. Okay. For possible action, we're going to set a date and time for January 23rd at 6:30 for the next board meeting. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
I make a motion that we set the next board meeting for January 23rd at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, I can call for the vote. Okay. And as I said, I'm going to go back to number 7 for closed session. Closure of the meeting pursuant to NRS 288.220 for purposes of conferring with the AVTV's management representatives regarding labor negotiations, issues, and other personal matters. Okay, so we will close for now, and we'll come back just to adjourn, just so FYI, and there's not going to be a vote for any of this. So if you wanted to go home, I would completely understand.
It's just
Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. Thanks for not waiting. This meeting is adjourned.